Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so we are waiting for Jen to come on to Meatless Monday. All right, let's see if we can pull her in here. You there? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on you. I'm not hearing you. I'm not seeing you. It's just a black screen. So we will try to get our technical difficulties worked out here. But welcome to Meatless Monday, where we are discussing all things plant-based. And we are just waiting on our host, Veganowledge, to come on in, if she can get her microphone working properly. And we got Ro in the chat, who is going to come up here and be a special guest for us tonight, talk about her plants formation, as we like to call it. Let us know how she's been doing. All right, so we will be back with you in just a few. Thank you for your patience. You there? Hey, Janetta. How are you? Yeah, Jen, you're going to have to come in on the phone or something. I'm not hearing it all. while we are waiting for Jen to get the technical issues fixed, I'm going to show you a picture of the dinner that she made last night. Wait a minute. Oh, wrong pic. You know what? Actually, you there? Yeah. Sorry about this, folks. Should have had these bugs worked out. You there? Hello? Sorry about this, guys. Okay, so I think we're going to have her come in on the phone.
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Hello?
Yep.
All right.
Yay.
Now it's a little bit of a weird connection on the phone, but maybe I should come in on your phone.
On my phone. But
yeah, because yours
no,
actually.
Okay, well, we hear you.
Okay, cool. That's all I was worried about. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for Kim Turner down there. I see Janetta. I know Jesse is listening, and Jen, and who else we have here? I can't see the chat yet, but J&J Video, thank you for joining me.
It was just up
Thank
there.
you, Dawn, for
You're welcome.
thumbnail that you made. She does all this great artwork for the stream and make us all hungry. And I saw. Did you share? You were getting ready to share tonight?
Getting ready to share. What was that?
You said you were sharing us tonight. Is that my taco salad or my taco?
I have it.
Bowl?
Look, wrong one. There it
That's
is.
some good tofurkey.
Doesn't that look good?
Yes, it's making me hungry looking at it.
She makes the best vegan tacos.
Yeah, I use Gardein crumb. Use the I put a little bit of the taco seasoning in it while I'm cooking it. I use the medium chili sauce. I use some Ortega sauce in the actual, all kind of marinate together with a little bit of chili powder, and that gets like chipotle sofritas for me. And then I also put cilantro in it, and then brown rice, the forager sour cream, which is all vegan. So good. And I use obviously veggies and taco sauce and all that, and sprouts, semi-healthy, not like a taco. Hey, Anita, thank you. That's before I have to bounce and join a Zoom board meeting. Oh, no, the board meeting's more important than Meatless. We have to prioritize sometimes, right? Thank you for you can be here for a couple of minutes. Now I can see the chat again. Yay. Hopefully y'all can hear me. And I'm going to do this evening about how fast can I see results. And I thought this was one because, you know, everybody's like, yeah, eating plant-based is healthier. And it's like, when am I going to see results? And we have a guest here that's going to come up and that's going to talk about her story. She's in the beginning of her vegan journey. Mine, after like 3 weeks, started to see results of me. I always tell the story that I didn't have allergies that first year that I went plant amazing, and that was only like a month after being plant-based for the first time, and like maybe longer than that. My entire life, I was 42, so I guess since I was old enough to and then also there was say like the changes in my back pain happened after about a month. I laid down to like stretch my back like I used to have to every night and every morning, and I was like, wait, pain like I should. But it was the reduction of the inflammation, I think, and also I guess some of the weight loss, which comes along with it, but that's not the main goal that we're after, putting the right stuff in your body. And so my results happened like really. Another thing I noticed was my energy level. Like, I mean, I was up. I love coffee, but I couldn't remember if I had it or not sometimes. And I'm still like that. Like, I'm at high working all day, and like
she's high octane.
So it's like, Dina, welcome. You got your coffee or something there?
It's me. What?
Yeah.
This is my decaf.
Okay, that's what Dawn drinks. What she said. But yeah, so mine were fast. Like, I don't know what everybody else is all raw to begin with, so that probably helped with the energy level. But it's a different feeling about you. You just feel really, really calm and really energetic, and like things that you had going on will go away. Like, people have cured their skin conditions, as up to and including even reversing type 2 diabetes. I mean, it's just amazing. So that's my story. Anybody else want to go ahead and talk about their results?
Yeah, I've since I've started eating more plant-based, well, primarily plant-based, and gone full vegan, I definitely, like Ro had experienced, said she was experiencing night sweats and things like that. I used to have that really bad, and I don't have that anymore. I just feel lighter all the way around. You know what I mean? My attitude is better. I just feel so like light. I don't get angry. I don't have anger issues. It's like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can, like when you're eating meat and stuff like that, you can get hypertension and stuff like that. And I think I was bordering on that, and maybe even a little bit of high blood pressure, but I don't feel any of that now. And I've been doing this now. I've been meat free for 2 years, and I've been completely dairy free for about 2-3 months now. I just was eating pizza. Everything else, I don't eat butter and milk and stuff like that. I had already switched over, but cheese pizza was my weakness, and I finally disciplined myself enough not to have any of that. So yeah, I think we got Ro on here too now.
Yes, awesome. I'm here.
Welcome, Ro. Real comment. She said my IBS is much better with my coffee and creamer. Easy switch, specifically ham, mostly deli products, beef, and aged cheese. I'm letting my tummy be the guide on my plant-based journey, seriously. And what we have to do is, once That's the thing about the motivation. Do that for so long. How do you not eat meat? When I started feeling better, I'm like, we're motivated to do. So if you can get over that initial saying, hey, I'm going to do something different than I've always done, be good to go, because your body's going to let you guide. It's going to be like, no, that's not worth it. Their way. Plus, there's like so many great substitutes when you do want good stuff. And I'm glad that you showed up when you did. Thank you, Dawn, for telling your story. So you and me have seen each other. We know we're telling like the exact road. How's things going for you? Still hanging in there?
Yes, I'm hanging in. We were actually at our local supermarket the other day, and hubby wanted ice cream, and we were going down the aisle, and I came upon the plant-based section, and I wanted to show them the plant-based and then my issue with the plant-based ice creams.
Did you try Ben and Jerry's yet?
Yeah, I have to say the Cold Stone is so much better.
Really? Okay.
We have to try that, Jen.
I haven't had ice cream in like a couple of months or more maybe, but I need
Yeah.
But again, we have a Cold Stone that's, 5 blocks from our house next to our Starbucks. So for us to go to Cold Stone is so easy. But to have the Ben and Jerry's in the house, I mean, it was okay. It tastes a little chalky, but
the only one I really like the best for me is the chocolate fudge brownie one. It's chalky,
That's
unless
the
it's
only one I
because
eat.
I haven't had ice cream in so long.
no, not one.
Yeah, that's the only one I eat.
But like when you look at there's one brand I want to say it's So Balanced,
Mm-hmm.
or you have to, for me, because I'm allergic to oats and coconut, I have to be careful. I had to look at every flavor to see which milk it was made with. And then like there's brands out there, that are more popular, they're the keto or whatever, and they're made with oat milk. So I have to, and I saw in your Facebook you posted a picture of the Starbucks hazelnut creamer, and it says, almond milk and oat milk. So it's like I have to,
Right.
because my allergy to oats goes way, way, way back. So I have to be like really careful with that one. But I
Something that
found
you're
one. I haven't
allergic
tried
to
it yet.
oats.
It's
I haven't heard
I'm
that yet about someone allergic to oats.
oh
I met someone at work allergic to almond milk. She may be listening. So that's interesting.
it's actually a funny story how we found out. I had chicken pox, and my mom went to put me in an oatmeal bath, and I came out of the oatmeal bath with hives from head to toe on top of the chicken pox.
Wow.
Oh no.
So
That's
then
messed
I
up.
had to be calamined and all over. I was pink, and they,
I remember that
duct
stuff.
taped the oven mitts to my hands. It was bad. And then just went and got my flu shot and my COVID booster because we're going on vacation. And the flu shot, I'm like, I need the egg-free version. I need the egg-free version. And they're like, oh yeah, this one, there's no sulfites or anything in it. Let me tell you the size of the welt on my arm right now. It is just, I'm like, I don't think I got the right one.
You need
So,
you need Just Egg. Look at that.
well,
I
no, I'm
cook
talking about a
these.
vaccine.
Yeah, I know. But you just made me think about Just Egg.
Oh, Just Egg is good. I don't.
It looks and
But
tastes just like it looks right there. That's
yes, and I
good
think
stuff.
Dawn was mentioning
So what are you gonna do,
last
bro?
week black salt, right?
Yeah. Black salt makes things taste like egg as well. So are you okay?
I took a Benadryl. Yeah, I took a Benadryl and my anti-inflammatory, and it looks like a wasp sting. It's just big and red and it's hot to the touch. But the one on the other arm from the COVID shot is just as bad. So, but I've never
Wow.
had, in the last couple of years, I've made sure to get the egg-free flu shot. I went to the same Publix I always go to. That's our local grocery store because our Walgreens doesn't carry the egg-free flu shot. So I went there, they confirmed it was the right one, and I'm like, maybe it was the way she held my skin when she gave me the injection, but good Lord, my arms hurt.
Wow.
But as far as everything else is going,
I got some kind of
Caitlin,
shot when I was young, and it stopped my arm. I couldn't bend those ones you had to get for school. That's why I only
yeah.
take shots of liquor.
Well, the reason why I'm adamant about the egg-free flu shot is before they had the egg-free flu shot about 13 years ago, I want to say. I got my flu shot and I wound up in the hospital from an allergic reaction from the flu shot
I
Who
could
knew
go
that
over
flu
because it
shots
had
my
had
sulfur
egg
favorite
in
in
it.
them?
flu shots, but
Wow.
that's station for me. I always
Well,
go into my give away a free shot so you can get you in, just like the bars. I'm
see,
just
yeah. Yeah, they have sulfur in them a lot of times or sulfites and uh if you're allergic to egg yolk, that's one of the questions if you look at the vaccine questionnaire is they ask are you allergic to any egg or egg product? Um and they started making a sulfur-free version or egg, I guess eggs were or sulfur were one of the ingredients in the flu shot. Um
Okay.
But as for everything else, Caitlin wanted me to tell you that she loves we call it boof instead of beef aroni.
I love it.
And Joe has commented that it's much more filling. Um, and I'm nervous about the cruise only because,
Yeah,
I mean, they have an entire vegetarian menu, but there are things that I used to eat on the cruise that are not vegan that like I look forward to whenever we cruise. So I'm like worried I'm
yeah,
gonna be tempted.
yeah.
Like my
That can happen, but it's like patient with yourself, and sometimes you find that you find alternatives that are going to make you. It's that psychological part of it that you have to really get past. Then this will be the cruise that you were excited and tried all this vegan stuff, but it's hard enough. Like what you're used to doing is substituting. Hey, I like this, so to make it taste like this. So it's definitely difficult, but if you can keep what your motivation is instead of what you're missing, then it kind of it makes it some holidays. And I felt the same way, you in different times a year where you're things like being from the East Coast, the seafood thing. What kind of resonated like probably about 4 or 5 months in, and when I started thinking about the whole animal, it helped me to make that right decision because I was putting something above myself.
yeah, it's just things like my escargot and little things like that.
Yeah,
I know.
I had to think
I
about
used to
it
eat
like this.
escargot.
I was like, I was seeing crabs, right? And I had to just start thinking about the poor little guys were pouring that salt in their eye away from it.
Yeah,
What is escargot again? Is that
snails,
octopus? Oh,
snails in garlic butter. You know me and my
Right.
garlic butter.
I've never.
And then you sop
Wasn't
up
that
the
one of
extra
your
garlic
streams?
butter with like the French baguette, and oh, it's so good.
I think willpower and mindset is probably the hardest thing when you first turn vegan or first start going plant-based is probably the hardest thing to get around, especially that first and second week because it's new, and it's unknown. And if you start giving yourself, like Jen said, having patience and just kind of sit it, and before you know it, you got 3-4 weeks on your belt, like Ro.
And you know what too? I think that a lot of it has to kind of deep into it. Like I go to a restaurant and nothing tempts me because I automatically look at options. It like just becomes part of who you are. Like when you walk in the store, I go to the certain sections how I eat. Like we're all creatures of habit, but after you do something for so long, maybe then when I started at 42. That's a lot of years of, to have to come out of. That's why I had to go all or nothing. I couldn't say, oh, this week I'll try the plant-based, because I know myself, I wouldn't have done it. I have to jump
Yeah.
into the pool. Some people are the other way, where they tend to benefits, but how do you see the benefits if you're not completely like, into it? Is it's like,
Well, and I went into it not thinking I would go vegan. It was, I'm going to eat more plant-based, limit my meat to like 1 or 2 days a week, even though, and then it was, well, maybe I won't eat anything that had eyes. So like clams and mussels, and like, so I can still have a little bit of seafood. But then, you know, I only have those like on the cruise or when we go to certain restaurants, and we haven't done that. So it just hasn't been part of. And like I told you, during uh the hurricane, we had the grilled chicken and I just did not feel well the next day. And um I did cheat recently. I was hungry. I needed something quick to eat, and I made the last package of tuna fish that I had in the house. I didn't make the chickpea because I didn't have any chickpeas. But again,
right.
I had the same stomach issues, and I haven't had stomach
See,
issues while I've been going through this, except when I have coffee. And that's really hard because I'm a coffee person. And it's to the point where, like, I don't even really want the coffee anymore, even though I love coffee.
have you tried
Um,
green tea maybe?
oh, I have Caitlin and I are huge tea drinkers. We do loose leaf tea. We have all the little tea balls. We have the tea makers from Teavana. We drink tea all year round. So I have chai, I have green, I've got herbals, I've got my black tea that
You
I
sound
drink
like a tea
during the
dealer
winter because I
over
like a
there.
hot drink.
Do you like
So
Earl Grey?
no, I can't have bergamot. I'm allergic.
Oh, okay.
And that's a hereditary
I didn't even know
allergy. It was
that.
my mother, myself, Caitlin, where all the bergamot oil, we have to be careful when we buy like bath bombs and stuff that they're not made with bergamot, because the bergamot gives us horrible headaches. But I do, Stash Tea sells it, and it's really cheap. It's called Super Irish, and it's double caffeinated. So 1 cup of the Super
Wow.
Irish breakfast tea is equivalent to having a shot of espresso. So
Oh, okay.
I
Wow.
drink that during the winter because I like to have, like, it's cold in the morning. I want to have a hot drink, and I make it with my almond milk. I buy specifically during the winter, I buy vanilla soy milk for the chai because the vanilla adds an
Oh,
extra
I love
flavor.
vanilla soy.
Um,
I think that's
but
important to stop there and talk about how you have to be patient with ruin your whole vegan journey, or even if you're not on a vegan journey, you're on that trajectory. If you do something and you have something that that you're like, oh, I messed. No, you might have ate a tuna sandwich, but now you're back on track, and it's hard for people who are vegan for a long time. They don't understand, but I remember what it was like in your phase where you were. That's not what's important. You haven't even resonated with it or gotten in the habit of it, but you're doing a journey and you're starting to see the health benefits. So that's where you're going to start. You're going to start pushing you to not make that decision, and maybe okay, like I have, like we don't even have stuff like that, so it's easy for me, but if something showed, like one night wings showed up at the door, like they messed up the wings, and we were like, oh, there's wings, and like we're looking at each other like, what, you know what I mean? So neighbor's door and
yeah,
give them away. because it's like, yeah, we don't eat that, but
I was so
that
proud
we're
of us
far
that
enough
night.
in.
We knocked on our neighbor's
Yeah,
door
right.
and said, "You want
I was like, I ain't
these?
eating
We're
those.
vegans. We don't eat that stuff."
That's an
And they
actual.
took them.
The neighbors love us when we get mess up orders. They're like, really? You don't want this?
And I don't like
I
discuss it. You know what I mean? I mean, we.
yeah. I've
They're
never been a
listening. Thanks for
wings
the
person.
ketchup, though.
But
Late one
looking
night.
at it, being lactose in okay, I know all of us are lactose intolerant, but having been
where I was
diagnosed
gonna say it.
at a week old and just not having it, just like I was told I couldn't have, that chocolate popped up on my allergy test, so I was never given chocolate, so I'm not a chocolate person. When I looked at, what vegan is, and it's just taking away the dairy products that I shouldn't be eating anyway, because they're just messing up my system because I can't tolerate them. And then I can't eat egg yolk anyway. So what's the problem with
You're the
getting rid of
perfect fit
eggs?
for
I
being a
don't
vegan.
eat eggs.
You're
So
a perfect fit.
that's why I, instead of doing what I was planning on doing, I've kind of jumped in full force because I can't have
It
those items
fits.
anyway. And I
It fits.
found alternatives to them that taste good. But the whole thing with there are so many different plant-based milks out there, and that's fantastic now. But I have to watch which plant-based items I buy to make sure they're not made with oat milk, because that is an allergy that has stuck with me since I was 5 years old. Granola bars are out.
So
That
I had an
oatmeal has
allergy
never been a thing.
to pollen and space. I didn't have it. I wonder if some allergies are a reaction, like some allergies mine did. Like I don't have any itchy, watery eyes. I don't have any. I don't get that major cold. Get the like how you get when it's pollen. Like you can ask
Yeah.
Dawn. Like it was bad. Like I mean, I had bad allergies from like April all the way through till maybe like early July, and then it would start again with hay fever and last until
Yeah.
like mid October. And if that was, like if that went away, could you get another allergy test? See if that still is the case. I wonder, like if some stuff would go away where you could open up stuff to eat. Who knows? I mean, I don't
Well,
know the science behind that.
that's something I'm exploring in this whole adventure, because I do have horrible indoor and outdoor allergies. So, I've tried doing the local honey for the pollen, and, I've been doing that for, years in my tea and stuff. But
Sometimes
I'm right now I'm
honey
just
makes it
trying to
worse, though,
see.
oddly enough.
Right now I'm just seeing
Hey,
how it
Nancy,
affects my
thank you.
Crohn's.
Nancy, thank
And
you for subscribing, by the way. And I wanted to say Nancy too when she was on the stream that if we feed people the good food, they will, I believe said this, that people will convert, and that's what you're finding. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm finding, and I'm enjoying the ride. I'm gonna see how things go. I was thinking about it, after about 6 months of this, seeing an allergy specialist and having a new round of allergy testing done, because one allergy that I never had that I've developed as an adult, it's crazy, but I'm allergic to the smell of strawberries, and I live in the strawberry capital of the world.
Wow.
My mother used to grow strawberries. She would make homemade strawberries and whipped cream. And I mean, I ate strawberries my whole life. And then one day we were strawberry picking and I got a rash from the plant, which had never happened to me before. And over the next, 15 years, it has gotten to the point where if I smell strawberries, I want to just reach down my throat and scratch the inside of my throat. My throat starts to close up. My eyes get all red and watery. Um, I
had
start
that
getting
happen to me
hives.
when I ate cherries once, and I still won't like it didn't. Dawn's laughing at me because she thinks I'm not allergic to cherries, but I swear it might have been the.
But
But
this was just
I
the
was like, I'm
smell.
allergic to cherries.
Somebody brought in a bushel of strawberries into the office, and I literally was trying to scratch, like I had to go get Benadryl and leave for the day. And then, you know, thank God for,
Strange.
COVID. I hate to say it, but, with masking up, I was able to go into the grocery store because I couldn't smell through the mask.
Right.
But like I'm sitting in trial in Plant City, which has the big strawberry festival. I'm in that county, and we come back from lunch, and somebody on the defense team must have had strawberries and didn't wash their hands, and they walked past me, and just the smell of the strawberries on their hands, I had to take Benadryl and ask one of my teammates, the other paralegals, if I fall asleep, like nudge me. And that was coming back from lunch. By the
I
3 o'clock
thought you were gonna say
recess, my eyes were red and puffy, and I didn't sound right. And the lead defense attorney came over and asked me if I was okay. And I said, can you just ask your team, if they're going to eat strawberries at lunch to wash their hands? And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, I'm allergic to the smell of strawberries. And one of your team members, now all of a sudden, it's not even my team that did it. As soon as the judge came back from lunch and got on the bench, like they we're talking to the judge about making sure that nobody in the courtroom, including the jurors, has strawberries, because there's a team member on one of the council teams that's allergic to strawberries. I mean, that is something it has gotten worse as I've gotten older.
Wow.
I
And
used
I
to
love strawberries. It kills me. I love them.
so you can't eat them obviously either, even just the
No, because
smell.
just smelling them sets it off.
If
So
if
I
she
can't
can't
get
even
close
smell
enough.
them, can you imagine if she ate one? What would happen? Good God.
I told
I think I'm
Joe that's like,
gonna say,
the perfect crime if he wants to get rid of me is just bring strawberries into the house.
with already like
Right, because there's no evidence.
watching, this should be really easy because it's like I can't eat. You already have no dairy. I mean, you're already one step past any of us. It's like you can't have strawberry, or is there a smell of
And
strawberry? So you're going to be really good at this.
I'm thankful for the vegan community and the plant-based community for becoming so large and so loud, because you guys have pushed. There are so many more options available in so many more places. Like I've talked to Dawn about, how we used to make a monthly trip to Whole Foods, which is like 30 minutes away, to do our grocery shopping. Now, I mean, I can get beyond at Walmart. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that it's everywhere now, it's just,
Look
and
how
there's
many
so
restaurants
many
are
options.
creeping
The
up.
original tofu cheese was the nastiest thing I've ever eaten, which is why I still,
But,
had.
no, I was just
Sorry,
going to
Jen.
say it's like, no, I was just going to say thanks for sharing the picture. Even now, like Beyond Meat has taken it like, oh, sure, I can get a Beyond Burger, but what if I want to make my own? They've got on the right side of this picture, they've even got the, how you want. And it's so realistic. Like, there's, once you get, sometimes you don't want the meat substitute. You want to eat all whole food, plant-based. But in this result, some people don't want to go completely whole food at first. So I think it's important that you transition, because once you start feeling better, you get into more things. Like we didn't a salad when we first started this journey, but we came across Tabitha, and we were like, wow, this does taste like it. So I don't have to buy processed tuna that I can buy. They sell like vegan shrimp and stuff, but
Yeah.
It's like here that can make one person choose a plant-based meal, save an animal, save their health, eating the regular meat, you know. So I mean, I commend you for even.
Yeah, that's amazingly awesome.
I'm trying. I did because at first I said, it's been a couple of weeks. I'm noticing health benefits with having more energy, etc. And not having night sweats, except for the 2 nights that I ate chicken and tuna. Um and
I'm
last night
I'm gonna
after
admit something right now because I'm going through it. My stomach is starting to hurt. I screwed up this weekend. I forgot that there was dairy. I had a taste for some junk food, and I told Jen, she went in the market. I hate going in there, so I just kind of hang out in the car. And
yeah.
I said, can you grab me a couple of ho-hos? And she brought me a box
Oh no.
of sweet rolls by Little Debbie, and I went through the entire box, and then I had some crunchy Cheetos today. I have to let you guys know, I feel like pure shit right now. I mean, I hate to put it that I feel like crap. My body is letting me know what I did. And I like that
Yeah.
because that means I can't eat that stuff anymore. Because I hate the way my stomach is, kind of starting to hurt a little bit. And I'm like, I started getting these sores on the roof of my mouth. I'm like, what the hell? And she said, wait a
Well,
minute.
that's from the crunchy Cheetos.
Yeah. Well,
but and
I'm like, what the hell? I had some yesterday and today, and then I had oh my God, why did I do it? Why?
well, not
I
to
literally
throw you
feel like
off,
crap.
but not to throw you off, but I did see when I was at Whole Foods recently that they have vegan crunchy cheese doodles or Cheetos.
Oh, really?
So, yes.
Uh-oh. You enabler! You're an enabler! That's good to know, though.
Well, because you do get cravings for things, so it's nice to
I
know that there are
do.
alternative
I want sweet.
options.
Yeah, I wanted something sweet. I wanted to be bad. I'm like, it's not pizza, damn it. And she's like, yeah, but it's still powder, And I'm like, yeah, I'll be all right. And I was, but I'm creeping up with all this stuff now. And I'm like, you know what? My body does not like that. It doesn't like that stuff anymore. It's letting me know. No,
Well,
you can't have that.
and you guys, I talked about this before. I have a salty addiction. I love salty.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. And my body has informed me what brands of potato chips I can and cannot eat based on the oil.
Huh.
And my favorite potato chip is by Gordon Food Service. It's like a restaurant supplier.
Uh-huh.
So like a lot of like small restaurants around here go there and buy all their stuff. So you get it at like, what the restaurants pay for it. So the wholesale price. So you get this jumbo bag of potato chips for like $5.49. But they are actually like taste like homemade potato chips. Like they have very, very little oil. They're a thick chip. They taste more like potato than anything. They're
Like a
thicker.
kettle cooked?
Yeah, but even thicker
Almost.
than kettle cooked.
Really?
Yes, they're like a homemade potato chip, like thick sliced. And they
Wow.
are so good, but they have so little oil. And then you go to eat a bag of Lay's, and my body is like, hell no. Because they are super thin. They're nothing but oil, basically.
Right.
So that's my guilty pleasure. And I'm like, it's okay, they're vegan. I read the ingredients. It says potato, oil, salt. The end.
Right. I also have a fetish for Popeye's French fries. And, whenever Jen I ride with her and she decides to, maybe do some Uber or something, I'll be like, okay, I'll ride with you. And I'll be like, my shot, we'll go through Popeyes and I'll grab a box of fries. And I'm like, what am I doing? Because they fry them. Those fries
In the
literally
same
taste like
oil.
chicken. They taste like chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I doing? I cannot do that. Because I've been so good for so long, my body is letting me know that it's not feeling that anymore. And I'm like, Jesus, I ate this stuff all the time before and I didn't feel anything. Look what I was doing to myself, because now that I'm eating right and I go back and do that, I'm like, holy crap, you know?
Well, KFC did the best thing they could ever do, and they got rid of the potato wedges and went to the French fries. And now I
Yeah.
have no desire to go at KFC because I would run through KFC just to get a thing of potato wedges.
And they taste
Like
like
you
crap
did.
too. They taste like the fries taste like crap. I went in there a couple weeks ago and I wanted some freaking potato wedges because I'm a potato addict. I have to, curb that. And they said, no, we don't. I'm like, you don't have wedges. What are you talking about? You don't have wedges? No, we got these now. We got fries. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm trying to wean myself off the Popeyes. Let me have those. They tasted like pure crap.
I
What they
used to
get rid of the
love the
potato wedges?
KFC wedges. Now, our local supermarket makes their own fried chicken, and they make potato wedges that taste just like KFC's potato wedges, our Publix.
Uh-huh.
And when we were getting our shots, I was getting my shots on Saturday. Caitlin and Joe did Sunday. Saturday, it was right after Caitlin had got out of work. So she went and got some chicken tenders and some potatoes. She got me the wedges. I was fine with them because they cook the wedges separately from the chicken because they have a whole setup.
Yeah.
And they taste just like the KFC wedges. And Caitlin laughs at me because we're so symbiotic. She likes the thinner ones, and I like the thick ones that are like the
Oh
inside
my
is like mashed potato.
I like the thinner ones too. I like the
A-
little ones.
And I love the big fat ones that are like mashed potato on the
Right,
inside.
right. Wow. I didn't think that was a thing with anybody else. I legit tell them, can you make mine the little thinner ones? And they kind of look
Yeah.
at me, But yeah.
But I was the same way with my mom, like McDonald's French fries. I like the soggy, limp ones, and she liked the really crispy ones that had like the sharp edges, and I didn't like those. So we would sit there and spread the fries out and separate them. But I haven't been to McDonald's. I mean, Joe went the other day for breakfast. And I'm like, just can you bring me a Coke? Because I that's my one thing is I love fountain Coke. That's the only time I drink soda is when it comes from a fountain. Otherwise, I don't drink soda at home and stuff like that. So I'm like, can I
Don't
just
have
have a
me locked
Coke?
out. I like the big wedges too.
See, so you separate them. You get the big ones. She gets the little ones. Everybody's happy. And I'm sorry, but going back to what Dawn said about having to give up potatoes, you have to understand. I am Irish on my mom's side and Eastern European Jewish on my dad's side. Potatoes are a staple of our family diet. Like
I
I will
love
eat potatoes everywhere
potatoes.
except au gratin or scalloped, which have cheese on them.
I don't
But
know
I
if
used to love
he
potato
told you that.
skins.
I think
I'm
Dawn
a
told me that
potato
told that
addict.
story about. Remember when like I was all raw and I was doing so good and I was like eating salad weight and I was like I need to bring some carbs back in. I just feel like I can't get enough. And Dawn's like,
I
don't you
offered
like
to buy her. I offered to buy her a bag of potatoes.
like
I'm like,
don't
you
you
need
like
to eat
mashed
mashed potatoes
potatoes? Why
now.
don't you make
She was
mashed potatoes?
so little.
So I made some mashed potatoes with almond milk, vanilla almond milk, and it was really good. Like I mean,
Oh,
so
see, I
when
can't do the I can't do it with the
go ahead.
vanilla because the smell tastes like dessert to me. So
Right.
It
I
really
that's
didn't.
why we keep the
It didn't mix in like that. I don't know what I did to them. I might have just put enough salt that offset it, but it didn't taste like them with
Oh
regular
no, it
milk too.
doesn't taste like vanilla. It smells like it because
Oh, oh, you and
80% of
your
what you eat
smells.
is smell based.
Right.
Yeah,
So it
that's
smells like dessert
true.
but tastes like potato, and my brain can't compute that. So I keep original almond milk for cooking with,
Mm-hmm.
original
Original.
unsweetened.
You
And
people
that's
thought
how
I
I
was
make my
crazy.
mashed potatoes, and that's how I make them mac and cheese.
That's
We
I've
really
been
use
good.
my
where I like go off making potato salad like a week straight with the vegan mayo and throw some celery and onion in there, and I'm like, I'll just sit there and make
Kiwi.
like this big bowl of potato salad, just sit there and eat that. And it's like, what am I doing, dude? I love
I
potato.
can't eat potato salad. I don't like potato salad. I
Oh my God,
I don't
really?
like
What?
I don't like scallop potatoes or au gratin, and I don't like potato salad. But I will eat potatoes any other
You
way. I will eat them
like baked
hash brown.
potatoes?
Oh, that's the only thing that I eat fast food basically, except for, if Joe goes to Burger King every once in a while, I'll get an Impossible Whopper. But if he goes to
Janetta,
Wendy's or
there's your
something,
Whopper.
Wendy's has baked potatoes. I get a plain baked potato and I put my own Kite Hill butter on it. Love baked potatoes. Love boiled potatoes.
I
Upstate
love
New
boiled
York, they call them
potato.
salted potatoes, where you literally put the 5-pound bag of potatoes in salt water, and the potatoes suck up the salt. Oh my God. And then you just
Ooh.
melt butter on them, which the Kite Hill butter works great to melt. Um,
Mm.
but mashed, baked, boiled, fried,
I
I
love
I
We're
live
starting to
for
potatoes
potato.
and
sell
I
shrimp,
love
right?
cabbage and potatoes.
Oh,
Oh
and
yeah.
carrots,
Yeah. I think I'm gonna get some
like
cabbage.
trying, like sort of like making corned beef and cabbage without the corned beef.
Yes.
Yeah, I make
Right.
them. My
Right.
mom
Right.
used to
Right.
make that for me all the time because I could never stand corned beef. I'm a salty person, but that was too salty. I was just never a fan
I
of corned
was
beef.
like, that was gonna
There
be my
was
dinner
this
tonight,
Jewish
and
deli.
I went to the taco, but I was gonna have this. I had this for like 2 months straight one time. Broccoli, carrots. I think it was corn, maybe corn. Cabbage, broccoli, carrots, spinach. Like I had this mixture of vegetables, and I would take in the vegan butter and like dip it in there,
It
and it
smells
was
so
just like,
good.
and I didn't even like miss any meat in that.
No,
It was like I was whole food plant it because it's so good and so filling, and you can even put some rice with it. But I'll be honest, that's when I went on my mashed potato kick.
I was like,
But
can you
it was so
throw
good.
some of that together for me? She was eating these cabbage and potatoes. I'm like, oh my God, is that cabbage and potatoes? And
oh
she's like,
yeah, and you
yeah,
put the little baby carrots or the crinkle cut carrots in it. Oh my
mm,
goodness! And then all it needs is a little garlic to get,
yes,
to make up for not having the corned beef taste. You put a little garlic in it, and
yes.
melt butter on it, and you've got basically corned beef and cabbage, or what they used to call New England boiled dinner. Um,
Yeah, I
and
love
I
it's the.
it.
Do you guys have them up by you? We have them down here in Florida. They call them the little creamer potatoes. They're the little tiny potatoes.
yeah.
You know what?
Okay.
Nikki made that. My daughter cooked that for us once. Like they had this, right?
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
little tiny, like 2-bite potatoes.
they
I
do.
Yes,
I
They
do
have
the
yes, they
like
baby
are
little packets.
carrots with the
I
little.
got
so
them like last
good.
Thanksgiving. Remember that?
I
Yeah,
just didn't.
Oh,
I didn't realize how much plant-based I was already until I started this. Like,
that's
I
a good
really don't eat a
thing.
lot of meat. My mom always called me her veggie kid. Like, I was fine coming home, steaming a bag of mixed vegetables and sitting down and eating just the mixed vegetables for dinner.
I will say that I try to tell people that so much that you would be the things that you'll have to substitute because a lot of what we eat is already veggies. So if you're on the way healthy, you might as well go the rest of the way, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like you just have to replace one or two that when you start, you're thinking I've got to give everything up. It's like, okay, if I make hamburger helper or I make spaghetti, the only thing I'm really having to give up is if you put meatballs in it, you got sardine meatballs to feed the family that night, and everything else you have a salad, like
Yeah.
most stuff we eat is veggie, which is great, but that little bit of health and making you have all kinds of ailments that little bit of extra work for replacement, which doesn't become work after a while,
Yeah.
Go too long though. I did want to thank Dina for coming on again this evening. Did
You're
you
welcome.
want to?
Making me hungry.
I know. Thank
I'm
you
sorry.
for coming on. I
What were
know
you
that
gonna say?
I wanted to say too the website. I'm not sure if you're on it, too, Dina. I haven't looked at it recently, but veganencouragement.com. I'm on there.
Mhm.
And Ro, if you want to go on, happy to have you. And J&J, if you want to put your stories on there, it's called, and it's a really cool website, veganencouragement.com, if you're just starting out as a vegan, and it would be great. And I met Dina, I think, through the same group.
Mhm.
Well-being.
Yeah.
Cool.
I just wanted, I had one last update and then I'm done speaking. So everyone else can have a chance. My last update
We love you.
from last week, I got
Talk,
on the scale
talk.
this week and I lost 5 pounds. So,
All right.
Nice. Congratulations.
because like I said,
Told you it would
I was
come.
feeling the health effects, but I wasn't seeing the weight loss. So now I've lost 5 pounds. So,
You know,
And how
you
long
better,
have you?
you better watch, because I'm telling you, Jen went down, and once it started, she went down so quickly, and to this day is still trying to put the shit back on. I mean, it stays off as well, you know. So that's another good thing
I've
about
had
it.
straight
You can
almost.
eat a lot more, and well, she did. She picked some weight back up, but you can eat a lot more, and you don't have to worry about gaining the weight because you're not eating a lot of saturated fats, you know. And
We don't realize it's the meat one. I mean, people think it's carbs. They think carbs causes diabetes. I just shared
yeah.
a video. Jay did share. I call you Jay and Jay, Dawn. I'm like looking
I know.
at your your channel. But there's a video that I want to share, and we'll week we do reversing type 2 diabetes. Wanting to do that because it's diabetes month. I want to do one on Thanksgiving meals, like vegan Thanksgiving meals. I'll go anyway. Thank you for sharing that. And how long have you been doing the vegan journey? And
It's
for
been a
the
month.
most part, a month. Healthy weight loss. It's not like some of these diets where it's like eat cabbage for 9 days and lose.
No, and a lot of my
Although that
weight
could
is steroid
work.
weight, which is really hard to get rid of. So I'm very proud of myself. I just am happy,
That's
feeling
awesome.
better, having more energy, and having a better. I was starting to have some mental health challenges, and I am feeling like my old self plus better. So, and I haven't felt this good since before my mom got sick. So,
Wow.
and
That's
that's
I'm
great.
been
so
she's been
happy for
passed
you.
for 3 years, and then she was sick for a year before that. So it's been 4 years since I've been myself. So
I'm
Right.
so happy
Well,
for
I'm
you.
happy for. I know that's someone I've lost people, and I've lost someone very, very young. So I know that's so hard. Healing process, and help you to feel better. That's so great. You said the physical changes are great, but the fact that it's helping you emotionally is rewarding. So thank you for sharing that and being so open with your challenges too. Going great. Sometimes you might want something else and you have to you might do it, and then but the next day you get up and you go for it again.
I talk about PTSD a lot on my afternoon stream, and that it just reminds me of that. You know what I mean? And Jen
oh
brought
no,
up
I have PTSD.
yeah, I talk about that a lot on Midday Meltdown. Today, Jen works with a young lady that is dealing with cancer, and I mean, I literally almost started bawling in the middle of the stream. But Jen brought up a good point about how food has a way of affecting you emotionally, and a lot of people don't realize just how much food can affect you mentally and emotionally, not just physically. You
And
know?
I think I'll give you PTSD, but losing someone can, a lot of the worries and things I deal with about my family are because I lost someone younger. You know what I mean? And that makes me feel like as people get older, I work more, and almost to the point, where you have to really just, you can expect the
Yeah,
unexpected. Sometimes you can't
I suffered
control
with it
everything,
pretty
but the
bad
food.
I suffered with it pretty bad after the cancer, and I didn't even realize that I was going through it. So I
Mhm.
talk about it a lot because it helps me to talk about it. That's why I do those streams,
Well,
because it helps me to talk about it.
I'll have to really make a point of hopping on the midday. I think I might have some time tomorrow, so that we can talk about it, because it stems from my mother's passing. She passed at home in her sleep, and I found her in the morning, and
Wow.
then 6 months later, I almost lost Joe to a pulmonary embolism while I was 4 hours away in trial. So now,
Wow.
Um,
and then, Joe got a CPAP. So, and even when he's not using the CPAP, if he takes a nap, he does not snore like he used to. So I'm constantly checking to see if his chest is rising. I'm checking on the
Right.
dogs. Like, that's why
mhm.
I have been diagnosed, and I did not have a very good experience on anxiety and depression medications in the past, mixing with my hormones for my birth control.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying through just psychotherapy without using
Ever
psychopharmaceuticals.
heard of
Mm-hmm.
5-HTP? And I think it's like so they're both natural supplements that a lot of people to. I'm serious,
Jen
Dawn.
will have you
Don't laugh
on
at me because of my
so many
Walmart visit.
supplements. She's got me on ashwagandha. I'm like, before
People
you
have
know it, you'll
pill
have a whole
containers.
medicine chest full of herbal supplements.
Well, I already do a lot of herbal supplements. We tried doing herbal supplements with Caitlin to lower the dosage of the medications that she's on for her issues.
Yeah.
And there are herbal supplements that we were able to use to like help with the meltdown. There was Calm Forte. You stick it on her tongue, and it helps calm her down right away. But I take a lot of herbal supplements because I used to see a DO as my childhood doctor, and then being diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. Well, having cancer as a teenager and then having an autoimmune disorder later. Um, I take my multivitamin. I take echinacea, vitamin C, zinc. I take an iron supplement because I am highly anemic, which is why they were always
You take
pushing.
B12,
Yes, I do. I take my B12 because
vitamin
that's
D.
my energy. I have to take vitamin
Side
D. We
supplement. I
seem to
can
have
get
a family issue.
everything through
Well,
foods, but
we
now I'm on a different.
we talked about this last one. And I put the Veg Life supplement on the Facebook group because they have
Mhm.
the multivitamin, they have the iron supplement, they have the vitamin D, um, but the iron supplement has B12 in it, and it's your daily dose of B12. So in taking just the vitamin D, it has the calcium, the B12, the vitamin C. So
I
I'm
told Dawn that
reducing the number of supplements I'm
like
taking because the supplements have the supplements in them.
you know sushi. What is seaweed that wraps the sushi? I told her I had to get my B12. I don't think we could afford sushi every day, so we went. I went to the supplements.
Well, I love seaweed. I eat miso soup like 3 days a week. Um, and I
Me so
have the
hungry.
dried seaweed to add to it in case it doesn't have enough seaweed in it, and then I eat the seaweed like potato chips.
But it tastes like fish, right? The dried seaweed.
Well, it has to. Yeah,
Yeah,
it came out of the
fishy.
ocean. It has a saltwater like beach
Right.
smell.
You know,
They say
um,
that you should crack that up in some chickpeas to make it taste even more like tuna fish. And
Yeah,
I've done that.
that's what
I've done
happens
that.
a
It
lot of
tastes so
times.
good.
People are like, "Oh, I need fish to get that." What we don't realize is they're eating all of the plants in under the ocean. That's what's giving us the nutrients. Just like the cows are eating the vegetables, and then we're eating that, and it's like we're getting we're eliminating the middleman. People are like, how do you get protein? The animal gets protein. It's getting it from the food, is eating off the ground, and then we need B12. Honestly, is because we wash our vegetables and stuff now. They too much. It comes from the soil. It's actually a bacteria, so we can't get it because of basically, processed and washed. So
Yeah.
we're not eating. Like, people didn't need B12 back in the day because they were eating stuff right out and at farmers markets and things, and it wasn't processed. So now things use pest washed, and it just, that's why we have to supplement. I learned that from Dr. John, did a video. He was a really, really good
Yeah,
vegan doctor.
I definitely dig the supplements. Don't get me wrong. I definitely dig the supplements because the ashwagandha, I definitely have noticed a difference since I've been taking ashwagandha. And, it makes me more on an even keel because I am high strung, dude. I really am. So
Yeah.
it's like, I definitely have noticed a huge difference both since I've been eating vegan and in taking the ashwagandha. I mean, really. And drinking a ton of water. Because just now, since I've talked about, how I was feeling, I just started downing some water and I instantly feel better because water is so healing. Water on top of everything else. People don't realize that water is a healing substance. It cleans you out. And on top of eating, if you include more water in your diet, it not only takes off weight, but it keeps you clean.
Definitely.
It's
Yes, it
also
does.
good when your stomach starts hurting a little bit. I taught Jen this too. When you drink coffee, because I used to drink regular coffee, and I just realized after a while that I started getting shaky and stuff like that. So I went to decaf. But if your stomach gets that little twinge, drinking some water right behind it usually clears it up.
See,
I heard,
mine isn't.
speaking of those supplements, some people with their coffee to kind of calm them down from being jittery. I'm not recommending that for you. I'm just, there's like, I feel like the supplement world, you have to be careful too, because there's a certain people can do for everything, but you don't want to like take a million. But
Yeah.
I try to look at it. What am I maybe missing that I'm not? Because I eat a pretty limited diet. I fast days. Some days I, veer off and I might have some salad or a sandwich in the middle. I fast all day and I eat one time a day. I try to get
supposed to be fasting
everything
today.
in. I feel like I might be
Cheetos.
missing this or this. And some stuff, women over 40, I 12 much slower when you get over 40. So I started noticing having some numbness in my limbs, kind of like I would get numb a lot quicker and things, and I'm like, and I heard that could be your nerve, that could be B12. So I started supplementing with that, and then I started looking into other things. People are feeling tired. If they're feeling, maybe they get up and they're dizzy when they stand up, might need B12, which is kind of interesting too.
And if you wake up in the morning and you've got a headache in your frontal lobe,
Drink some water.
Well, water and B12 helps with that too. Because it's actually an indicator you did not get enough sleep.
Hydrated. That's a big thing about. I didn't realize when you have headaches that a lot of times throughout I was really dehydrated because I drank like Mountain Dew when I was in my 20s, and like I would drink soda.
You had an intravenous, right?
I get dehydrated very easily because I used to drink so much coffee, and it's a diuretic. It dehydrates you.
Yes.
I would get Charlie horses in the middle of the night. Because the only thing I was putting in my body basically during the day was coffee, and then at night I was, trying to make up for it with some water or vitamin water or whatever. But I had dehydrated myself so much during the day that for like the next 3 days I would do nothing but water and vitamin water, because the water we get distilled water delivered to the house, but the vitamin water has the extra electrolytes in it that you need when you're dehydrated.
Yeah.
So like I, add some vitamin water to my glass of water to just, because I try to watch my sugar intake with my family history and my hypoglycemia. Um, but yeah, it was the coffee was dehydrating me, and I mean, I had no idea, and I would do 3 days no coffee, just straight water and everything, feel great, go and have a cup of coffee, and start the whole process over again. Which is why at this point I'm just like, I'm done with the coffee. I'll have my tea in the morning, stick with my water and stuff during the day,
Yeah.
and I've been doing that
I, I don't
because
even
we just
drink
had a
decaf.
cold snap.
Yeah, even decaf I only drink on the weekends because coffee
It's one
period
of
is
those
not
drinks
something you
that
want to
are
drink too much.
like an
I
emotional
swear,
drink.
you know how some babies are born to addicted mothers, and they are born with the addiction themselves. I
Yeah.
swear I was born with a caffeine addiction. Don't laugh. Okay. My mother, my aunt, and my grandmother all worked midnight shifts. I was literally born with my circadian clock backwards. They had to train
Wow.
me to sleep at night by keeping a light on and making it dark in my room during the day to get me to stay awake during the day. Like, so I
Well,
really, my mom
Wow.
that
used to
can,
drink a pot of coffee every night while she was at work. And I mean, we'd have coffee around the table. Like, she could drink a pot of coffee and go right to sleep. And I was to that point
well,
myself where even 4 shots of espresso wasn't doing it to keep me awake.
you know, when I
And
was in my 20s, I could drink energy to sleep so much. And then now I have like weird sleep issues.
I saw a meme
Those
recently.
energy drinks are crazy.
They are so bad for you. They
Shots,
are
yeah,
Yeah.
I
so bad for you.
don't do any of that. I
I
feel so
I
much better
beg Joe. He
now.
was addicted to the 5-hour energies, those little shot ones.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
the
like, there's no
ones.
sugar and there's no this. And I'm like, but you can't even read the ingredients list. You don't even know what's in it. I'd rather see you take no dose, which is just a caffeine pill, rather than drink those. And then look
Yeah.
what happened. He had a massive pulmonary embolism. Like,
Well, dude,
there's
there was
stories
this
about kids
guy.
drinking Four Monsters and having freaking aortic aneurysms in their classroom. Their hearts are literally
Okay,
exploding.
have you seen this video with this saying goodbye to his owner that's laying in a hospital bed? It went viral. Have you heard about
No, I
that?
haven't.
Okay, it's so sad, but apparently this kid ended up this guy, he was like 33, and he ended up laying in a hospital bed and going into a coma, and apparently he had a fetish for energy drinks, and he
Yeah.
ended up dying from a brain tumor. And it's
Well,
like these energy drinks are no good.
I heard one story and then read articles about multiple teenagers dying in their classrooms in school from drinking multiple energy drinks in one day because they drink the energy drinks like we used to drink soda.
Right.
They think it's a supplement for soda
It's
because they're
crazy.
carbonated
Wow.
and whatnot. So they're getting so much caffeine that their hearts are literally they're having aortic aneurysms, which is your heart is exploding.
Right. Good God.
Oh, that's crazy. Explore that more and
Didn't you say something
definitely
about
do some
you were
research.
Jen, you were wrapping Christmas gifts one night and you drank like 5 of them or something?
Yeah, I definitely did. I'm glad I'm still here to wrap here. What before I forget, I mean, like, poor Dina, I want to hear from you because she's a counselor and she helps people to, journey. What have you noticed about people's transition, or what do you have any advice, or just been sitting here so patient while we were discussing everything? I want to make sure I get.
Dina, you there?
Problem. I'm a good listener. I'm a counselor, so I like listening.
Right. Help
Yeah.
us.
I like to listen. Well, I've seen part of my work with the well-being. I've also a lot of people have recommended the Dystopia group to me as people who really struggle emotionally. And I know I did too. If you're on the well-being, I came across an old, it was an old post I made like in 2014 where I was struggling with being vegan in my faith. Let me see here. And it was interesting because that's kind of what the well-being came out of this. But I was looking for support, input from friendly vegans. I'm a pastor. I had I had otherwise very intelligent, socially justice-minded colleagues who in general don't yet get it about animal advocacy. And one pastor posted a bacon post with another pastor friend of mine liking it. I posted pictures of pigs and their babies and the whole gestation crate horror and said I don't eat bacon for the compassionate reasons. But nobody really came to my, nobody was, listening to what I was saying. Then the next post was a Debbie Downer post on Saturday Night Live character. Then that guy's guest got pushed down. Somebody took it off. I said, I'm really struggling with how to address this issue of opening the eyes and ear hearts of compassion for animals within the Christian community. It just really disappoints me. So, I've been through it too, not only, in my faith, and kind of what I'm focusing, but with families and, people can really, I don't counsel necessarily. I'm going to do that more for people who are vegan and struggling. But it can be a very, very isolating, depressing, guilt-ridden experience. There's a whole emotional component to becoming vegan. Then there's guilt. People feel bad about the past of what they've done. And, it's like most people really haven't been vegan. We've all probably not been vegan before. So there's a huge, huge emotional component and a huge spirit. If you've got spirituality, whether it's Christianity or any other religion, most of them, except maybe like the Seventh-day Adventists, but they don't do it for the animals, I don't think. They don't take into account the animals. In fact, they just don't see neighbor as the animals in our lives, other sentient beings. And it's really, really frustrating and really disappointing. I think it'll change. I'm hopeful that the whole world will be vegan, or most of it at some point. But when you're in it and you're expecting everyone to go, yeah, I see those gestation crates, I think I'll not have any more eat pig anymore. But they just don't. They just make fun of you. So I think there's a big component of that.
I think that is really difficult because that connection. You know what I mean? They see the post, but they almost want to, because they don't want to come into like contact with their own change their behavior, and this is what they know, and that part of that's motivates them to want to because they can all join in together. There's less people. If I say, I can barely ever say this because a lot of people, but once I got really deep into it, and I think when I'm starting to go into the animal part, because that was an evolution for me, I talked about that in my too, that I started out for health reasons, and somewhere along the line by me and dealing, all of a sudden this thing clicked in my head, and I was like, wait a minute. So for a dog, why would I want to know that a cow was touring it? I'm eating flesh. It was just a weird revelation. And once you do that, it takes out oh, I don't know if I want to eat this or eat that. It that you just won't. It would be
it's the equivalent.
Go ahead.
It's like the equivalent of reading Charlotte's Web to your children and then making ribs for dinner.
Right.
Or pork chops. It's like we just discussed, this book about trying to save this pig, but here we're going to go ahead and eat the pig for dinner.
The compartmentalization is amazing. And it's like, if of anybody in my life that I would think would be vegan, it would be my Christian colleagues, the leadership, my church. And also you find out not even the Christian is the Dalai Lama eats meat. Most spiritual leaders don't they eat meat. They're not vegan.
Most people that say they're animal lovers eat meat,
Right.
and it's like I think that's a good name for a stream. But I know that like the people animal lovers love some animals. You know what I mean?
When I
But
would have said I love
can't
animals.
say all animals. You know, and I said I loved animals when I didn't get that I wasn't loving all animals by eating meat and dairy.
Right.
And it is a terrible, torturous industry for cows. I mean, I've watched. I don't share a lot of that stuff because I don't want to turn people off to the journey. I try to say from my own perspective. I don't know what the right way to do it. It's just not the way that I tend to approach it. But I don't know. You know, I want them to know that they could heal themselves. I want them to know that animals are being tortured. But it is like if somebody came at me a weird way, I don't know that I would change. You know, but before this.
But then on the other hand, when I had my mentor when I was being ordained, and we had an association meeting, and they were holding it in a Seventh-day Adventist church, whatever. But she arranged to have an entire meal, our whole meal for our meeting was vegan.
Oh, that was nice.
From the whole thing to the dessert and everything. So there is a little putting their toe in the water, but yeah. So I'd like to specialize more if people are vegan and need, because I'm a counselor too. My counselees none of them I think are vegan right now, but you know, I'm available for that because sometimes it's just hard. And I reached out, you know, like does anybody know Marla Rose? I know she's a real, you know, I found her I found other people and all of you, you know, there's so many people out there that are vegan. So it was helpful just to find people like that could get it, that, and you know, we need that, you know, especially as we're going to get ready for Thanksgiving and all that. And
This is
I think discussing vegan versus non-vegan or vegan versus animal eater is kind of like politics in America. And if you just post your story and, you know, let people come to it on their own and not try to like jam it down their throat.
Yeah.
They're a lot more open to, like I said, I was already, you know, leaning this way, and then just meeting Jen and Dawn, and they're like, well, you're already going this way, you know, you already seen all the documentaries about how horrible, you know, they are to the animals and everything, you know, just here are the you know, alternatives to things. And that was, you know, Jen's video on the dairy alternatives. That's where I found the sour cream, the cream cheese, the different cheeses. And then I started exploring on my own. It was just, you know, it gives somebody a foot in the door.
Yeah.
On, you know, how they could do it.
You can't tell somebody to do, and even you could tell them every great benefit of being plant-based in the world. Like, oh, you can heal your diabetes, you can do this, this, and this. If you don't know how, you have to try that one day, you know. But if you don't know exactly where to go or what somebody eats every day or how they do it in their daily life, they're never going to. It's a good idea. It's like, you know, if I don't know how to do something, I put it off. Like even stuff at work, how to get there and how to do it. Sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I'll have to figure that out later. I think we all come in on these streams and telling our story.
I think, yeah, like when I was getting my hair cut and we were talking about what we're having for dinner, and she's a new person to me, and she's like, I think I'm gonna have steak tonight. And I said, well, I won't have steak because I'm vegan. And she literally didn't really know what it meant. Like I had to remind myself, like there's people who are just totally in the beginning of this. And to be, you know, I was just kind of taken aback. I'm like, yeah, well, I've been doing this for years and there's a lot to it. And there is simple in a way, you know, and it's like, wow. But I think how I approach it is going to be important. To say it's more of an invitation and be friendly, you know, and this is great, you know.
Yeah, and not
people-
to like put somebody on a downer or guilt trip, like all of a sudden for what they're, you know what I mean, for what
Yeah.
they've done. Because when I make comments, I forget that I was at that point in the journey. You know what I mean? But I don't
Yeah.
think you have to not say it. I think you just find a different way. And I think that was extremely rude that someone posted that,
Yeah.
when they said that to you under your post, what they were basically
Yeah.
doing in touch that they ever did something wrong. They wanted to make themselves feel better. And we all
And
want to, nobody's a bad person or wants to be a bad
no.
person or wants to hurt an animal, while realize that we're all on a different journey. And if we give people don't like you said, don't just tell them the facts, but in a way that's going to make them feel bad about themselves, because that's the last thing I want to do about yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
like Rose said, let them make the decision. Let them come to it. Don't jam it down their throats,
Right. And
And
many people, it's like I don't have to be the one to convert, like, okay, I planted a seed. So she might come across
Yep.
somebody else. And then,
Right.
we don't have to do the whole thing, but we are
Right.
representing it. But I think what was so disappointing in that whole situation for me was that those were pastors that were I just wasn't expecting it from my colleagues. I mean, I shouldn't expect it from anybody. Not
it's
that they're
like seeing your
so, but I
teachers
thought,
when you're younger. Maybe if you saw a teacher outside of school or something, it's like, that's my teacher. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
person you respected that you didn't think, a decision, for example, and it's like you respected them, and that they for all living creatures, and that the fact that they were not part of their mind,
Right.
it upset you, because it's like, wait, I thought I knew these.
Yeah. That was early on in my journey. They're a lot different now. And I did get ordained. So I got ordained about 4 years later, and I kind of waited till I had, my paper was vegan focused. I made sure I wanted to have all the meals were vegan. And so then they did that. So in fact, one of our little girls, she brought her toys of animals and put them on the tables. And so it's different now, but then that was early on, kind of early on, a couple years in. But I did have to wrestle a lot with the committee, because they were like taken aback by the paper I wrote, because I call myself a vegan pastor, and that kind. They're like, we're not ordaining you to be a vegan pastor, but they kind of were.
Yeah.
But
Well, I commend you for putting things together, because a lot of people would have just said, well, I have to like conform, and to not do that. It's like sometimes, if you go to a holiday and you see, you know what, I'm just going to do what everybody else does. That's how change and revolution happens, when we are different and we make people think.
Right. And it just takes a lot of courage in a way. I mean, I remember like admitting to my church was like I'm vegan, because I became vegan while I was at church. So, but it takes courage, and that's what my therapist said to do that. But I had the paper, and I was kind of scared to send it out or whatever. But it does take courage to do it, because we're really going against the stream of society, at least for now. It's really, really changing a lot, though.
Yeah.
Evolution.
I mean, it's like, yes.
Well, and also we're not left with a whole lot of choice with what's happening with global warming and climate control and the planet. It's like we're looking for alternatives to do things differently, not just with things like cars, but people are looking into the fact that, animal agriculture is one of the causes of, why we're having such issues. We're getting rid of the rainforest. The trees in the air. It's like the trees in the air. If you get rid of the trees, then you're going to have things like global warming. So it's all relative, and I think people are becoming more conscious of it.
And then, like, I'm not forcing it in my house, but my sister has been open to trying things, and she's seen all the she's a vet tech, she's an animal lover, she's seen all the videos. It's just she's used to these comfort foods, and she's just not, she wants to try the alternatives before she gives them up, is
Yeah.
her thing.
That, I said this. I had I used to smoke cigarettes when I was like, I started when I was probably when I was like 31 or 30. But here's that was the part that was hard with quitting after about 3 days was the caffeine. We've been talking about it so much. Nicotine addiction. It wasn't so much that, it was the was harder when this is when I used to, when I'd get in the car, or when I'd get around this person, or when I'd have a coffee, or when I finished eating. It was like so many things waited to it. It was like the same with eating. We have certain times when we we know, like, hey, when we first got together, we used to eat this together. I think that emotional and making new memories of different things and finding replacements is the most difficult. And that's the difficult part of people who are like your sister. They're like, I want to change. That's what's going on. But she lives in an environment where that's not how they eat. So it's like, you have to find ways to help people to get a
We
Yeah, and
bonded
Joe's
over
like, I'm going to
cheesers.
my cousin's house for Thanksgiving because I'm afraid you're not going to make me anything good to eat.
Right. Nobody will ever
Wow.
come here for heck of a Thanksgiving meal last year. It was so good. At 2
They
years
wouldn't have
in a
missed.
row, actually. It was like we
Mhm.
found this. Like, I realized stuffing itself is is vegan. Basically, you just have to change the butter, to
Yeah.
butter, and then you can do a like biscuits are vegan if you use milk or the almond milk, and then you can make like anything
Sauerkraut,
sauerkraut. We got corn, veggies, obviously,
mashed
and then turkey.
potatoes.
Like Gardein makes turkey now, and then tofurkey vegan roast if you wanted. I've never tried that, but we found these
Edgy,
these were
the edgy vegan on TikTok. The edgy vegan.
uh-huh
Remember her? She made the turkey that actually looked like a turkey.
like a turkey out of like tofu. So like if you
It's
want,
really cool. You should check that video out.
a lot of stuff is really good though. People will, I like, let's say you take me back to age 40 before I started this. That's how, like, I wasn't or anything, but I would have been like, okay, yeah. Yeah.
But he should, it's one of those, he should know me better. There are things that I put on my Thanksgiving table for him since he's been in my life that would never have been on my table before. Like, I've never done pork. I'm not a pork person. I always made sure he had his ham because he grew up with ham at Thanksgiving. You know,
Oh,
he
they have
likes Southern style mac and cheese. I would get him Southern style mac and cheese. I would have biscuits on the table. I don't eat biscuits. I do that for him.
I love
Stuffing.
biscuits.
He and my mother were the only two that ate stuffing. I make him stuffing. Like, of course, I'm going to get him turkey and make him turkey. I'm just not going to partake in it. Like, you don't need to run away for Thanksgiving. I'm going to make you your Thanksgiving. You know, but if you want to go to your cousin's house, fine.
Are
I
you
don't care.
talking to him right now?
No, he went to bed. But like, yeah, it's just like, because we ran into her at Publix, and she's like, you guys can come over, we're doing Thanksgiving. And I'm like, no, because you make weird West Virginia food that I don't eat. I'm not coming to eat there. I've seen how you guys make mashed potatoes. They put mayonnaise in mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
Hopefully it's how.
Yes, it's
Mm-mm.
disgusting. You don't
No,
put mayonnaise in mashed potatoes.
Okay,
no,
so
I don't
here's
Oh,
the,
like it that
I don't want to tell
so
you
I'm
this
like, you can go
because
eat the stuff that your family recipes because they're related. That's fine. You could go visit with them, but I'm not coming with you.
I put sour cream in the mashed potatoes, and they were actually like some of the, like, I know it's crazy sounding, but the Forager sour cream and been creamier than they've ever been. But I don't know
Oh yeah,
about
my
mayonnaise.
mom always used to put a dollop of sour cream in her mashed potatoes. Um, but this is mayonnaise, not sour cream. They are completely different.
Mhm.
Okay, that is just a no-go. But I also don't get along with this cousin very well. There's a
Gonna say
backstory.
I kind of
So
scoped that.
right.
so I stay cordial because he loves her like a sister, but yeah, I don't get along with a lot of his family.
You could say mayonnaise. Okay, that was my
Man,
bad pun
they
of the
some
day.
crazy people. I think you cut up so nobody got what was happening there.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, this darn messing me up.
She probably said something like mayonnaise some crazy relatives or
Did
something like that. She always does a
Yes.
mayonnaise.
Yes. You're so punny, Jen.
look
Love the
today
dad
at work?
jokes.
I said I tried, and I said some are working and some are not, but it came out like SUMMER, and it the mayonnaise. I saw that on meme earlier.
Ro,
Mayonnaise, some
I was trying to put a bunch of laughies down there because I had to go to the little girls' room because the Cheetos
the
decided
Charlotte's
they didn't want to stay
Web.
in. Yes, the pork chops. I was like, and it ended up coming out a bunch of peace signs because I was hitting the laughy so
Ro,
fast
please
that
do a TikTok of that for us where you say that and like a way explain to people why they shouldn't be eating meat.
I can do
Give your
that.
kids Charlotte's Web, and then
like
you
Charlotte's
know.
Web, and then they turn around and make pork chops. I was like, damn.
But it's true. Like
I,
that's where the connection is not made.
but that's and it's hypocrisy because you're teaching
Yes,
your kids to
Yeah.
love the pig in the story, and then you're
right,
going to feed them a pig.
right, right.
Did you ever see
That's
things
crazy.
that it's like it's in a different language, but I guess they've translated it. And he's like animals, and she's like, "Why won't you eat animals? Because they're in the oven." It's such a cute little kid. I'll have to
Yeah.
share that tomorrow. But sometimes kids start very early on understanding that connection and in the world of this is how what we're supposed to eat. We're taught that, you know.
And I'm telling you, my journey of no pork was not anything related to, family tradition, religion, or anything. It was seeing the movie Babe. And I just, turned around and said, I am not going to eat pork. And because my mom would make pork chops all the time,
They
and,
need to come out with a
my
cow
dad would
movie.
eat them. And, it was just crazy to me. Uh, but I was just like, I am not going to eat pig. And my grandmother used to make, the big Christmas ham with the cloves and the pineapple rings and the maraschino cherries and whatnot. And I'm like, it's beautiful. Can I just have the pineapple, please?
Right.
And
Right. Start with you were already there. You were plant based in the beginning. You just
since
didn't
I was a kid,
manifest.
yeah, I just, I think it was again society, the options, it, just the just today I was hungry and I was going down the road and because Joe had forgotten his wallet and I had to meet him to bring him his wallet, and I was out and I'm going, I'm kind of hungry, and it's like I passed Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's, and I'm like, none of these have anything I want.
Shame
And I came
that we don't
home.
have more at this time in this stage in the game, and even some like pizza shop, different things. They don't do the vegan cheese, and it's
No,
like,
they
can we
do
just
all the
vegan
different crusts,
option?
but
Right,
they
but not
won't
the
do vegan
cheese.
cheese.
That makes no sense to
That's
me.
just silly.
I don't get that. Like, if you would take it that far, why not just finish it out?
I wish they counts and like because I have to like
I'm waiting for
make the
a
one or
vegan
two vegan
pizza shop
choices.
to turn up. Somebody
If
is
I'm
going
not
to take that and
mistaken,
run with it.
do you
You know
guys
what?
have
This
Blaze Pizza
weekend,
by
let's go
you?
to that one.
Where
No,
Who?
there's this place by us called Blaze Pizza, and it's like you pick
Oh,
you go along this it's like going to Subway. You pick your toppings,
oh
and then the
yeah,
pizza
it's
takes like
we
5
call
minutes
it
to cook.
yeah, it's remember Dawn, what's that place that it closed up near Walmart? We used to
Piazza.
the guy Piazza. Yeah, that we would go, you pick your crust, you pick your toppings, and they put it in the oven real quick.
But it
Well,
wasn't vegan.
when we first started going there, they started with the gluten-free crust. Then they added the
Mhm.
cauliflower crust, and then the
Mhm.
last time we were there, they actually had a sign up saying you can ask for vegan cheese.
Somebody is really leaving money on the table there, and I'm talking about one of the big guys. If we should try to all get some financing, there
If
is an
anybody wants to
opportunity right
finance
there.
us, we the pizza shop.
I mean, really, there's an area of opportunity there.
And this is a chain. This isn't a
Right.
individual mom and pop place. This is a chain, and they have started serving vegan cheese.
How crazy would it be if Domino's or Papa John took that? Who better to take that and spearhead it and run with it?
Absolutely. But I'm gonna have to run off of here. My phone's about to die.
Okay. Yeah, it's about time to end it, right, Jen?
Jen hopped out.
Huh? Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end it because we're probably gonna go ahead and make dinner.
Thank you.
So thank
Have
you
some
for being
potatoes.
on here. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Dina. Thank you, Ro, for telling your story and sharing your journey with us. We love
I'm
having you guys on
trying.
here.
I'm doing my best.
Hey, you're doing.
Yep.
You're doing more than trying.
Keep going.
But you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you. Hey, listen, drop something in the comments about what you want to talk about next week. You know what I mean? Or send me a DM or something.
My phone went out, so.
Oh,
I
her
will.
phone died. That's what happened. Okay.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
She said, thanks everybody
You're
for
welcome.
coming.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See ya.